Back row ministry of the world, man, Mr. Mahdi coming back at you live and direct. So I made this video a while ago. The sound didn't record, but I had spoke about Charlie Kirk and the death of Charlie Kirk in that video, and just wanted to do a numbers breakdown that kind of shows you the relationship to the ritual and things that have to happen for rituals like this to take place. Um, if you looked at the video, there was a picture I placed because the thing that caught my attention in this was the Starbucks cups. I was trying to figure out why these two Starbucks cups were sitting on this table. We see the 47 hat, 47 the number foundation in the ritual, but those two Starbucks cups, really caught my eye. So we know that Charlie Kirk, he was 31 years old, 31 the 11th prime, and 31 was a big number in football over the weekend at the Alabama game. Alabama 31. Remember, Alabama went 3-1 against Georgia. Georgia went 3-1. Something to catch with the playing of the number 31. But it's a prime number, so 31 is the 11th prime number. 11 is one of those master numbers connected to the checkerboard boys. So, of course, Charlie Kirk was an activist, and they like to use that word activist. So we're gonna throw that into the gematria goodie bag calculator. We got a lot of stuff in the calculator, but we're gonna throw the term activist in there, and we're gonna go through all the energy. So, of course, they had the audacity to show this gruesome shooting on national TV, and I definitely had time to think, why would they want to take Charlie Kirk out? And only opinion. My opinion is maybe he had the idea that he could run for president, and that's not going to happen. We know that the elites control the presidency, the elites control royal office, and if you're not in the bloodline, then you're not going to be the president. And for those that don't know what we're talking about, people like Barack Obama, people like Donald Trump, people like Joe Biden, people like Bill Clinton. These are people that have royal blood in them, cousins of cousins. They're all related. I remember Dick Cheney makes the joke, which is not a joke, but which is real, that Barack Obama is his cousin, which they are because they all are part of that royal bloodline, and most of your politicians are. So you got to be a part of that royal bloodline to even be chosen to be the president. Donald Trump is a part of the royal bloodline, meaning he's related to Barack Obama. Thus, their ties during that presidential run for Obama. And one day I'll do the video on why that was important for Trump to be in Obama's life, to kind of distract or deflect away from some of the other stuff that might have came out about the Obama lineage. But we have Charlie Kirk. That's just my opinion. I think he was trying to run for president, which cannot happen. We know they're priming JD Vance for that seat. I think he was getting too much momentum, and they had to stop his momentum. And it's very sad to see a young man. Like I say, your politics is your politics. But if you are a person who's out there, who's creative, who has the ability to create movements, then I applaud you for what you're doing. So some people say, well, you're this, you're that. No, I'm a political guy when it comes to, I respect different opinions, and I like to hear people talk about things from a different standpoint. We don't have to agree. Excuse me. We're in a society where we think we have to agree, but we don't. So I prefer you say what you got to say and be honest about it. Personally, that's just a personal preference of mine. But it's very sad to see young folk at 31 be gunned down, and maybe they're gunned down because they have aspirations bigger than what the elites will allow. Okay. But those Starbucks cups and that coffee really, really caught my eye. Why these Starbucks cups and this coffee there? And we know that Starbucks is the Seattle company. We saw if you watch football, you saw the Seahawks now looking good with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold looking like a superstar all of a sudden in Seattle. They're getting all these wins, so a lot of focus on Seattle. We see that the National Guard got called to Seattle, and Seattle's always one of those cities when the shit go down. They're always having some uprising on the streets. So let's see Seattle get out of control as we continue to move into this created political instability, because that's the time we in now. Political instability. This is the time. So we are in World War III. For those who continue to confuse this and, oh, well, we haven't entered into World War III. World War III is like a relapse into addiction. It doesn't happen when you take the substance. It's a process. Relapse is a process. So we're already in a relapse going back into major war. Tariff wars was a part of that. Political instability across the world is a part of that. So we're already been people trying to position. You've seen videos where I talk about people trying to position themselves as a part of that. From the whole Greenland thing, that's positioning. So those are strategic moves as you get ready for World War. Okay, so we've been in World War III. For those who are confused about where the war hasn't started, it's been started. You're in it right now. You just got to open your eyes and realize you're in a world war being manipulated by the elite. Think about in America. They're trying to create a political civil war. They can't create a war of color anymore because black Americans have stepped away. So we're not really involving ourselves in the stupidities of this political environment. We're stepping away. And now you see it's not even a focus on us. They're infighting amongst themselves, Republicans and Democrats. So we're stepping away. Now you got Republicans fighting Republicans according to this story. So we're stepping away, stepping away from the foolishness of black Americans. And hey, we don't have anything to do with that. So they're trying to start a political civil war and get people of color caught up in the political aspect of this. And that's why I say leave the politics alone. It's not ours, it's the elites. It's a way of manipulating. So we see this conservative activist. We're going to break that down. Charlie Kirk will break that down. Dies will break that down. He was shot at Utah Valley University. We'll break that down. This took place in Orem, Utah. A lot of strange things happening in Utah. That's Mormon country. Remember, the Mormon leader just got shot yesterday. So a whole bunch of stuff coming out of this beginning of the ritual with Charlie Kirk. Shot at Utah College, and then the Utah governor act like he really give a damn, like he's not one of the elitists, but we know he is. So this was the early part of this, and they actually caught the shooter, but they put this on national TV. And funny what happened. This happened on September 10th, and I just want people. I'm happy I am making this video now, because now I can point out some things I wasn't able to point out when I first made this video. But did anybody notice? I want y'all to put this in the comments. There was not a lot of media coverage this year of 9/11. Now, people talked about it, and at the same time, it's like this story was used to distract your mind from 9/11, where we got to a point this year. There was not a lot of 9/11 discussion. I just want people to sit with that. Was this assassination or this killing created to start moving us away from 9/11, and why? Why are they trying to remove people away from 9/11 and the 9/11 situation? But that's something that kind of caught me, that this Charlie Kirk situation kind of overshadowed 9/11, which had been a big event for years, a big memorial for years, and suddenly we weren't talking about 9/11. Everybody was talking about Charlie Kirk. I want y'all to think about that, because the elite do some strange things, and they sacrifice their people. And Charlie Kirk is one of their people. Don't think he's not a checkerboard boy. And as I said, the checkerboard boys are notoriously known for taking out their own. That's why It's not it's an agent organization. If you join, you better be very mindful of your brothers and sisters because they might be the ones who try to take you out. So just because you take that oath does not mean you're safe. Okay? All right, so Charlie Kirk was died on 9/10/25. It's a day with 64 numerology, 28 numerology, 19 the number of chaos. So we see the number of chaos on there. It's very chaotic that day. 44 is the kill number. 17 is the kill number. He died on the 253rd day of the year. That's the 22nd triangle number. So 22 is already at play that day. So the numerology is where it needs to be. 112 is just 112. But we see the numerology of 22 already in place. We see the kill codes. We died on the day of killing. And we see 19, the chaos numbers. So he also died, if we put in his birthday, which is about to come up. So I'm also happy I did this video. The video got messed up. I'm really happy. So we go to 10/14. We'll do both. So I'm going to do 2024. So he died 331 days after his birthday. 331 days. So that's 10 months, 27 days. 10 months, 3 weeks, 6 days. If you just do weeks, he died 47 weeks. Remember the hat? 47, the number of foundation. When we talk about the checkerboard boards, they deal in foundation. Euclid's 47th problem. Go look it up. It's a checkerboard problem. It's bragged upon if you watch the movie Lincoln. And Lincoln brags upon his checkerboard affiliation when he's talking to the young man about Euclid's 47th problem. Go watch the movie. Go watch Lincoln. Early in the movie, he's having a conversation about the Civil War with the young man. A little bit later, and he talks about Euclid's 47 problem. So he dies 47 weeks, and you just do the weeks. He dies 47 weeks before his birthday. And what we talk about when we talk about pictures, a picture's worth of what? 1,000 words. There's that 47. You see that 47? Cheesing at you. So the checkerboard boys tell you, yeah, we did it. And what you gonna do about it? Yeah, we did it, and what you gonna do about it? They take out their own with no problem, no hesitancy, and you're only allowed to go as far as you're supposed to go. And this was Charlie Kirk was only allowed to go. And I think he had ideas or ambitions to run for a higher office, and they did not want him to run for whatever this office was. I don't think he was running for senator. I think he had a higher ambition, and they stopped it. Okay, but we see that 47. He dies 47 weeks after his birthday. Okay. All right. So his birthday is about to be in a couple of days, honestly. So 47 weeks after his birthday, he dies. 4 weeks before his birthday. And put that in days, he dies 34 days before his birthday. 1 month, 4 days before his birthday. 104, 1 month, 0 weeks, 4 days before his birthday. Okay? So 1 month before his birthday, and you just put it in days, he dies 34 days before his birthday. So we got 47 and 34 in play in our numerology to go along with this ritual. And remember, the numbers of numerology that day, the energy must match the ritual. That's how you know it's a ritual. All right. So let's go to what we got. Let's go to and one more thing. So remember, Tyler Robinson was named the suspect in the Charlie Kirk shooting. They apprehended him. Robinson was also from Utah. He was not at the school. He was not a student at the school. But however, after his father recognized him from photographs, the authorities officials say a series of events ultimately led to the 22-year-old Robinson being taken into custody. See how the number 22 came back? Remember, the shooting happened on the 253rd day of the year. 23rd triangular number. So 22 came into play immediately. They brought 22 back in play immediately. All right. So we got 22, we got 31, we got 11. 31 breaks down to 11, 11 and 22 are master numbers, checkerboard board numbers. All right, so let's look at this. So remember, things they pushed on us. Charlie Kirk is an activist. Activist. And they kept saying he's an activist. Why? And they drove that down your throat. Because activist vibrates with Charlie Kirk's age of 31. He was shot at 31. He's an activist. He's dead at 31. So they have to connect the ritual, and they have to brag upon what they're doing. They know what they're doing. So they'll tell you this was preordained, pre-planned by us. He's an activist, 31. He died at a significant age because it's a ritualistic age. So he died at 31. Also 59 is in there. 103, which is the 27th prime. So we see some 27, and 113 is 30. So we got all prime numbers except for 59. Which is 59 to 17 prime. I'm sorry. And 17 is the kill code. So remember, he died on a day with 17 date numerology. And for those that don't understand what we're saying, kill is 44, 17, 64, and 28. Kill. Remember, there was numerology. Kill code date numerology. And anytime in the movie you see number 44, 17, 64, and 28, usually somebody's going to get killed in that scene or in that room. Remember, he's on the 17th floor. You see it a lot. You see it a lot in movies. You got to be just got to pay attention. All right, so let's look at our history. We want to start to see what vibrates with what. So activist 31, 59. Turning Point USA, the organization he founded. See how that's 74 and 74, we talk about those numbers of presidents sometimes. 74, of course, is the reflection of 47, which is number foundation. And you see how Turning Point USA is 88. Trump 88, for those who know, Trump 88. Turning Point itself is 69 and 66. 69 and 66. Tyler, the shooter, his first name, 80, 26, 55, and 28. See, he's the killer. Remember, kill is 28. Now, let me bring kill down. But see, kill is 28. Tyler, the killer, is 28. Tyler Robinson, his full name is 186, 69, 165, and 75. Death is 38. We know the number of death, 38, 25. That's why a lot of people are dying. 97, the 25th prime number. Blood sacrifice, 67 and 86. And if we go, we'll catch that number again. Starbucks. Remember, I had that Starbucks, and I wanted to highlight why did they wanted that Starbucks. Starbucks is 66. Starbucks is 66. And see how Turning Point vibrates with Starbucks. Remember, the Starbucks cups of coffee on that table for some strange reason. I didn't understand why. But Starbucks is 66. MAGA. So remember, he was a big time MAGite. And we talk about MAGA in the Church of Satan. MAGA is 22. 253 is a 22nd triangular number. We got all sorts of 22 numerology. The shooter was 22 years old with Tyler Robinson being 22. Should we go on? I don't think so. But that's MAGA. 22, 13. We know 13 is always the number of ritual. And of course, 86 and 23. And we'll see some vibrations in that. Of course, Trump 88, vibrating with Turning Point USA 88. So Trump 88, Turning Point USA. Trump 25, the time of death, number 25. We'll see Trump probably tied up in a bunch of wars where a lot of people get killed. Trump 47, the number of foundation. Remember the 47 hat. and 29 the 10th power, 10th prime number. Utah Valley 127, 37, which is a 12th prime number, 143, and then 53. And 143 prime. Yeah, let's make sure 53. I think it's just one. Yeah, 53 is the 16th prime number. So that brings another prime number in play. That's the 16th prime number. Orem, Utah is where the shooting took place. And see how Orem is 24, Starbucks 24, Orem where the shooting took place, Starbucks coffee 24. See the vibration right there with that Starbucks coffee cup. So it just wasn't placed there for no reason. It wasn't placed there for no reason. It was there for a reason. Orem 57, Orem also 21. Dies is 37. That's why they always put dies at the end of these rituals. They keep that 37 energy. 37 is the 12th prime number. 12, the number of completion. Dies. Utah Valley is 37. See how Utah Valley is 37? Has that 37 energy. What else we can find with that 37 energy. 19, the number of chaos. Remember, that took place on the day of chaos. 71, and then we got 26, the God number. So took that. And Tyler 26. See how Tyler 26 dies is 26, that God number. Kirk. Kirk is 49, and we go back to 22. Kirk 22, dead on the 253 day of the year, 22. 59, activists. Kirk the activist dead on the 253rd day of the year, 59, and 32. Charlie, his first name, 56, 38, the number of death, 133, and then 43, which is the 14th prime number. And 43 is the 14th prime, so we're bringing another prime in. And then Charlie Kirk is 105, 60, 192, and 75 to close out our energy. So things that vibrate, we talked about how Kill vibrates with a lot of things. Activists, we talked about how that vibrates with a few things in this story. Turning Point USA, 69 and 66 vibrates with Starbucks for some strange reason. Trump 88, of course, vibrates with Turning Point USA, the relationship of Turning Point USA and Trump. Charlie Kirk and Trump, I didn't see any numbers that vibrated with those two. MAGA 22, that 22 was all throughout this story. It laced the story, so that was all throughout the story. Still looking for other vibrations. We talked about Utah Valley 37 that has some vibrations with a couple of things that we saw. That Starbucks Utah Valley and kind of vibrated with a couple of things. Orem, we know, vibrated with the Starbucks cups. We saw the 47 number foundation. Kirk, we talked about the 22. Charlie, we talked about the number of death being present. And Charlie Kirk itself talked about 60 and 75. And I'm trying to see, did I see? Don't want to miss things that vibrated in this story. But we got a lot of 22. We got a lot of 47. Got some 47 in this story. Remember Trump 47. Charlie Kirk died 47 days after his birthday in 2024. Well, 47 months. 47 weeks, I apologize, after his birthday. So we saw that symbolism there. Make sure I don't miss anything in this story. MAGA 22, though, that was a funny one. But I think I hit on all the points as far as numbers that vibrated with each other. Just wanted to make sure we hit everything. We can also add Republican, because Republican. which is 47. The number foundation, Republican 47, vibrates with Trump being a Republican all of a sudden. Remember, Trump used to be a big time Democrat, for those that don't know. He wasn't a Republican all the time. Then 47 weeks after his birthday, Charlie Kirk is dead, the Republican. Civil War, remember they're trying to march us into civil war. And see how Civil War is 56. Charlie is 56, his first name. Civil War is 97 and 43. Charlie is 43. 97 vibrates with, and I've seen a 97 in here. Let me find it. Death is 97. Civil War is 97, that vibration. But 43 and Charlie. Charlie, now, after he died and they start trying to start this civil war. They need us to go to civil war and massacre each other. But a lot of numbers in here. If you can catch it, catch this picture and kind of put it into a frame shot, you should be able to find more numbers. But try to find as many numbers. Maybe I missed some numbers in this piece I did. But activist 31, Charlie Kirk, dead at 31 years old. Very sad story, man. But young folk get involved in this thinking they're fighting for these causes. You got to be very careful of what team you pick, because some of these teams cannot be trusted. All right, the statement, prove me wrong. Whatever the hell that means, but prove me wrong, his statement. Prove me wrong when he makes that statement. That was one of Charlie Kirk's, I guess, one of his statements. Prove me wrong, 171, which is the 18th triangular number, 72, 153. And both of those are 7. See how 153 is the 17th triangular number, the kill code. Prove me wrong. 7254. See if I can find any 54. Or 72. Trying to make sure we don't miss any numbers. Prove me wrong. Also 171, which is the 18th triangular number. But making sure I don't miss anything when it comes to some of these numbers. I don't want to miss anything. I don't see a 70. But Charlie Kirk, see how Charlie Kirk and Tyler Robinson is 75. You see that energy? See how they tied those two names together? So I called that Charlie Kirk and Tyler Robinson, 75. Charlie Kirk, Tyler Robinson, 75. That energy vibrates, tying those two together. So like I said, the ritual things have to be tied together. Things have to be tied together. So I took Tyler. Let's take Robinson. Since Robinson is a very popular name here in America. Robinson. Remember Jackie Robinson? So, of course, Robinson, 43 and 47. Do we need to say more? 47 weeks after Charlie Kirk's birthday, he's shot by Mr. Robinson. Charlie, 43. Robinson, 43. So we put that energy back together. Civil War 43, Robinson 43, Charlie 43. So the energy has to match for these upcoming rituals. So we see where they're trying to take us. As I said before, do what you have to do. Strap up. I got mine. I'm about to get another one. Strap up. Get ready to protect your family. That's what we have to do. This is real. So I don't advocate anything. I advocate protection of your family. That's what I advocate. I'm not telling you to go out and do nothing crazy. I'm telling you to protect your own, because that's what we have to do. So strap up, fortify your house, Get ready for whatever foolishness that these people are trying to bring and trying to bring us into. We're not involved in any of this foolishness. Sometimes you just gotta watch the production play out and put your back against the wall and try to survive. That's all you have sometimes. But these elitists are the manipulators of realities, and they're trying to take us into reality that's going to be very dark for a long period of time. So, as I said, any reality can change at any time. This is their reality. It's not ours. Our problem is we try to make it our reality like we have some form of control over it. No, at some point you will have control over your own reality. But we're living in other people's reality that they created a long time ago. And it's chaotic. It's chaotic, man. MAGA 22, Utah 22, just the sickness of it all. Sickness of it all. So definitely, if you can go through this and see where some numbers vibrate, get kind of a bigger picture of this ritual. I think I kind of pinged everything that was important numbers wise, but definitely I'll lead this up for anyone who wants to take a screenshot. Maybe you can find some different vibrations. But very sad place that we're in America, where they're putting certain things on TV. They just really don't care anymore. Young folks are dying for political causes, which is always stupid. But this is the country that we live in, just a country of chaos created by the checkerboard boards and their chaotic programming. And it's something that we're going to have to be very mindful of as we try to navigate this. But I'm happy I did this video after the fact. And one thing I'm going to throw in here, Spencer Cox. The governor of Utah. So Spencer 50, 49. See if I catch a vibration. Kirk is 49. Spencer is 49. Spencer Cox is 49. So definitely be mindful of people like this, because he's tied into this ritual as well. As I said, I hope that this young man, Charlie Kirk, did not have aspirations of being the president, because you cannot just go up there thinking you're going to be the president. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. And also, I'm going to give with their 2 Starbucks, could have been tea, I don't know, coffees. So 2 Starbucks coffees is 156, 57, 253, and 91. The 13th triangular number. So we know that 13 is a number of change, which is a triangle number. And do you see what 2 Starbucks coffees are? 253. If this lets me back on, which it might not, but if it lets us back on so we can see our calendar again. It made a lot of changes to this. We just want to see the calendar. But we know that 253, as we said. Oh, I see it. I see what he did. Well, maybe that's the wrong thing. All right, but I'm trying to get back to the calendar and what we were doing. Let's see if we can get back to the calendar. But I think we get to 253. That was the 200 with. I just want to show people this again before we get too far. Let's go back to tools. Day calendar. And we go back to our date. But 10. So 9, 10, 25. Going back to that date. Remember that it was day of the year, the 253rd day of the year. The 253rd day of the year. We can go to weeks. 11 months, 31 the 11th prime. You see how they do it? And that's how I like his calculator when he does his breakdown, because you can see the actual months. 11 months. Well, from that time period to, well, Sunday, from that date to this. So we can't do it that way. So I apologize for that. It's not right. But 9/10/2025 was the 253rd day of the year. It was the 253rd day of the year was that date. And those two Starbucks cups of coffee. I apologize. And that's why I remember, long time brother Yahi of Children of Israel, shots out, told us to look at the picture. Anything in the picture, put that in your gematria calculator, because that's them speaking. Two Starbucks coffees is 253. He died on the 253rd day of the year. And that's how the numerology energy has to flow with the ritual. That's how you know it's a checkerboard board ritual. So they're hiding even inside of the picture. So I like a lot of stuff that Zach does, but Zach also has to understand it's not just the words, it's the picture. The picture speaks 1,000 words. Remember, they tell on themselves with their sayings. So you got to look at the picture. So that's why I was saying, why are these two cups of Starbucks coffees there? Because it goes and ties us back in the ritual. 91, 13, the number of changes in there. All these numbers are a part of the ritual. Everything you saw in that picture was a setup for the ritual. They knew what they were doing. They were setting up the energy for the ritual, and that's exactly what they did. So we saw the two Starbucks coffees. We got the 253, of course, like we said, is the number of days in that year. Okay, so he died on 253, which of course is what? The 22nd triangular number. Then we get some 13 in there mixed in. So everything in that ritual had to flow. And it went to those Starbucks coffees. So that's why I put two Starbucks coffee. Two Starbucks coffee. Then we got two Starbucks coffees, which is 53.95. 239, which is the 52nd prime number. But just looking at those things, 2 cups of Starbucks coffee gave us that 253. So being very mindful of how they hide in plain sight the ritual and what they're actually doing and how they set up these rituals. Got to be very mindful. Let me see if I see any 57 before we get out of here. Orem is 57. 2 Starbucks coffees, 57. Goes right back to Orem, the place where they planned out this ritual. So a lot in this picture, like I said, I'm going to keep this. You can screenshot it. If you find any more energy that vibrates, connect it. See what you get that vibrates. Mr. Mahdi, peace and